Hey, good afternoon, all of my investing and trading friends, just all you beautiful people. Today is Friday, June 2nd, approximately noon Eastern Standard Time. Today, before we get started with this week's edition of the Crypto Weekly Update, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. I haven't advertised this that much, guys, but this is my Drops tab public facing portfolio. And this is where you can track all of my trades. Now, one of the reasons I haven't advertised this portfolio that often or that exclusively is because I can only trade crypto in this particular portfolio, and I can only trade long, and I can't trade leveraged. All right, so that's a little bit of a drawback, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to continue to use this. We are on a mission to turn $10,000 into $1 million in 5 years or less. Probably more realistic is 100,000 if I can only trade in this manner. All right, so if anybody has any suggestions on a public facing portfolio that I could utilize to trade long and short, to trade stocks and crypto, and occasionally I may want to trade leveraged, please put that in the comments below. I would much appreciate it. But since I'm on the topic here, you can track my current balance here, my holdings, what I have allocated to US dollars or stable coins, what I have allocated to crypto positions, and what crypto positions I am currently in. All right. Of course, the goal here at the time is just to do base hits. All right, so I'm pulling up my spreadsheet here. I'm still tracking all of my trades on this spreadsheet as well. Reason being for two reasons, really. Number one, I can trade anything here. I can trade, of course, I can denote stocks, I can denote crypto, I can trade leveraged, I can go short, I can track all of that in my spreadsheet. So I may just go back to the old-fashioned means of tracking if I'm not provided with a better solution than I currently have. But at the current time, Drops tab it is. And you can see here that I have a win streak of 20 in a row going on. These are just long trade, guys, and these are just in the crypto market, and this is trading crypto in a bear market, long, no leverage, only crypto. All right, of course, we're not trying to hit a home run. We're just going base hits. I specifically set up safeguards and implemented those safeguards in our trading strategy due to the fact that I lost my shirt on the Luna fiasco. I went in 20%. Should not have done that. Many of you followed me for that. I am very sorry, and I'm trying to make it up to y'all by implementing these safeguards and having you all follow stop limit strategy based upon your risk tolerance, etc., etc. So some of these trades we only won a very small amount, but nevertheless, the win is the win, and we've got 20 in a row. Currently, we're on a big win streak trading long in crypto in a bear market. So that's very good news. And I think we can do much better if I can implement a trading strategy that allows me to trade short and long stocks and crypto, leveraged and not. All right, that being said, you can track all of my trades at my site, which is studom.us. I'll put that up in the window once again here. Nope, wrong one. Sorry, guys. You probably heard a sound instead of the sites coming up. And by the way, guys, some of those logos were green, like Rumble is green. So because of the green screen, it gets invisible. But I do have quite a few followers on Rumble as well, if you want to follow me there. But preferably just go to my website, studom.us, and you can get all of that data. Everything I post on, most of what I post on Twitter. Twitter would be the only exception where I post a little bit more than what I post here. But Substack now has Substack Notes, which is kind of like Twitter, and occasionally I post things there as well. All right, I'm getting long on the tooth here, so let me just pause this real quick. And now let's proceed on to our charts. Do a little bit of analysis here. This is the dollar chart. As you know, I was expecting us to come up here and hit the 105.6 mark. And I'm not sure that we're going to do that. Now, this could just all be a bull flag right now, where we've come up, turned around, and are using that level below us at 103.5 to bounce a bit and come on up and hit that 200-day moving average or that level above it at 105.6. I don't know that just yet. Dollar has been using 103.5 as support. We'll see in the next week or so if we break that and come back down. Of course, we are tracking this larger head and shoulders pattern, the neckline of which is also a descending trend line, which comes all the way back, if I were to zoom out here on the weekly, from 1984. So we started that thing way back here, guys. This is it. 1984. And so now it is also acting as a neckline for this head and shoulders pattern. Should the dollar come back down and break below that neckline, that is very serious trouble for the dollar. The dollar will continue to get weak. All right. And what does that mean, guys, for the market? When the dollar gets weak, it means you need more of the dollar to buy a thing, whatever that thing is. In this case, we're talking shares or crypto. All right. So you need more dollars to buy your stocks, to buy your crypto. All right. So when the dollar is going down, it generally is a strong signal for the market, or from a perception wise, it looks like the market is going up. But that's just because it takes more dollars to buy that thing. All right. Now, when the dollar is going down while the VIX is going down, it's a really strong signal for the market to go up. Let us take a look at what the VIX is doing right now. And you can see we have actually just today broken to the downside of this triangle. Now we are at levels, multi-year low levels on the VIX. So with the dollar declining, which it looks like it's doing right now, but it's sitting on that support. Should it break that support? Should it break that neckline with the VIX this low, for whatever insane reason the market is at this level? I don't know. Probably due to the fact that it looks as if debt ceiling issues are being resolved. We don't know that for absolute certainty just yet, but the market is taking it this way. And when the dollar is down and the VIX is down, the market should pump. Let's take a look at the US 500, which we are using to track. And look at this, guys. We have broken to the upside of what I called a bearish wedge. Now, I started to doubt this thesis a few weeks ago when we hit our heads on the macro uptrend a fourth time, and then now a fifth time, and now a sixth time. Why did I start to doubt that this was actually a bullish ascending wedge? Well, because the the bulls were very strong in insistence to break that overhead resistance. And now what happens with support and resistance when you hit it, when you nail it multiple times to the downside or to the upside? Picture it like being a jackhammer on concrete. The more times that you nail that concrete, sooner or later it's going to break. All right. And that's what happened here. Today, we have a breakout on the upside of this macro uptrend line, and we are continuing our way up to this blow off top, which I have been predicting for the last year or so. You guys know. All right, so now on to our Bitcoin chart. I've got a lot going on here. Let me quickly recapture a few of the things that I've noted in the past posts and video. First of all, we have a channel breakout here. We've been in this downtrending channel since January of this year. All right, so we finally broke to the top side of it. We did once before, but came back down in. So we've remained in this channel this whole year, basically, and finally had this channel breakout. That was with this big candle up. All right. So what happened up here? Well, we have a cup and handle pattern that I am tracking, and I have a neckline here, this purple neckline that goes horizontally at $25,200. That is actually where I expected us to retest. We did not. What happened? Well, there is another neckline here that technical analysis may be tracking, which is ascending just slightly, all right? And it goes up here and provides the top of this backwards sort of wedge area. Bounce pad is what I call it. All right, that is all of what I consider a neckline, this whole green area. And instead what happened is price touched it once, came back up, came back down, touched it again, and then the bulls took off and took us to a new pivot high, along with breaking this descending trend line. So that's a very bullish sign. And we're having a bit of a drawback, but this is also a bullish drawback because take a look at this, guys. We have not formed a new pivot low. Instead, we've got our pivot high here, come back down to support. It looks like we're just forming a bull flag, and we're getting ready to go up into that resistance area once again and make war with our $30,500 mark. Keep in mind though, guys, this is huge resistance, and I want to take us over to our CME futures chart, which shows us a few more things here. First of all, we filled a gap that had been created on the 30th of May. All right, so this looks to be another bull flag here on the CME futures chart, but one of my astute readers / viewers pointed out that we have another gap here at around $20,000, and this was formed on the 13th of March. So this is pretty concerning, guys, because at some point, you all know 90% of gaps are filled sooner rather than later. So the big question remains, when is that gap going to be filled? And that is a great question, folks. Back to my Bitcoin chart, I want to show you two possible scenarios for the future. All right, so that keeping that $20,000 marker in your mind, we are looking to do war again with the 30,500 area soon. Now, if we beat that, I would imagine we go up to our $37,000 target before we go back down to 20,000. The other possible scenario, nevertheless, those are the two scenarios we have to keep in mind for the future price action of Bitcoin. Okay, now a new chart I want to show you. This is the Ethereum versus BTC chart, and you can see we have this nice bullish wedge here, and Ethereum has just broken to the upside of both this bullish wedge and the 200-day moving average. What does this indicate for us, guys? This indicates that alts are remaining strong. Alts generally follow Ethereum, not Bitcoin. So if Ethereum remains strong against Bitcoin, it's a good sign for alts. So it's something to keep in mind, and it correlates with the data I'm seeing on the total 2 chart. The total 2 is, of course, all of the alts, and it just excludes Bitcoin. We have a nice Adam and Eve pattern going on here. We have almost touched the 200-day moving average, which I was expecting, and we have used this bottom blue ascending trend line as support for the past 2 weeks, and it remains support. All right, so once we can break above all of this resistance up here, then we are well on our way. Now my target is up here at 930 billion. Could go higher than that though. Let's take a look at our Ethereum chart. Is this also correlating with ETH, BTC, and total 2? So Ethereum looks strong as well. Again, another Adam and Eve pattern I have drawn there, as well as an inverse head and shoulders. Came back, touched that neckline on the inverse head and shoulders precisely. Formed this bullish wedge here, broken to the top side of the wedge. I mean, all signs are go on Ethereum. And we know once Ethereum goes, then the altcoins will. Okay, with the remaining 5 minutes I have here on this particular video, I want to review or scroll through some of the altcoins. Before I do that, I want to look at the Bitcoin halving price action. So we can see here just a simple chart, and the vertical white lines are the halving time frames. All right, so our next halving is April 2024. What happens before the halving? A lot of people think we go bullish before the halving. A little bit, but not necessarily. Generally, we go slightly bullish to sideways. It's more of an accumulation period than anything. And then after the halving is when we go bullish. This has been the pattern for the last 3 halvings. All right, slightly bullish here and then rocketed after the halving. All right, slightly bullish here and then rocketed after the halving. And here we have a period of pretty much sideways to down action and the third halving, and then we rocketed slightly. I think we will mimic the third halving more than anything. So we could go sideways to down before our fourth halving on Bitcoin. Now keep this in mind because I want to show you something here. All right, so this is our Litecoin chart, and Litecoin now will do a halving in less than 70 days. Don't know exactly what it is. What does it mean? What does this mean, and why am I showing you this? Because I think Litecoin generally follows the same halving price pattern. It goes sideways to slightly ascending at first, and then sideways, mostly sideways to downward before rocketing after the halving. I'm not exactly sure. It's about 3 months from this point, or 2 months actually, before Litecoin halves, and then we should see tremendous price action. As you guys know, I bought in here for a trade at around 85 or something. Now we are up into resistance. Could come back down, touch the downside of this triangle that we are in before going back up. I'm not sure, but at any rate, Litecoin, if you're not using it for a trade, you should hold Litecoin. Litecoin will do very well into the next 3-4 months. All right, XRP. I'm just going to quickly go through these because I only have 20 minutes. We've got a double head and shoulders. The first head and shoulder, or inverse head and shoulders, has the target has been met. Now I've just drawn this as a hypothesized right shoulder, inverse shoulder, and I'm expecting us maybe to come back down, touch 48 cents, possibly even 46 cents before we curve back around, hit this neckline. And then once we do that, we're going to be on to new yearly or maybe multi-yearly highs on Ripple. So watch this closely. I'm not saying that this will play out like this, but this is just what I see, and very well looks like it could. All right, audio. We're sitting on this 200-day moving average, and a good sign is we built a good accumulation phase here. It's kind of like building strong support. If that support holds, that 200-day moving average, for a period of 2 weeks, it's a really good sign that we're going to jump up from there. ARB, you guys know I was going to buy down here somewhere at some point, but I am not in the business of making risky trades or putting my followers at risk again. So I did not do that, or at least I didn't publicly announce that in my public trading portfolio, though I did actually buy, personally accumulated some ARB around there. But again, I did not do that because we are trying to make the safest trades possible. And I want you all to do well with me in our public-facing trading portfolio. I will continue to look at ARB for good entry levels. Right now, we've had a big day up, almost 9%. So this is not a good time to enter just yet. But we'll continue to look for trades in this alt space. Ape is in a bullish triangle at the bottom of the triangle right now. ADA. Not looking good for ADA actually, Cardano, because we're under this red trend line, and until we break above this, I'm not really interested in this trade. AVAX, a lot of these guys have, now this looks like an M pattern, so we could come down even further, back down to $10.82, maybe $14.17 before we end this pullback. DOT, another M pattern, however, we are in this triangle. Now maybe we are in AVAX as well. It looks like there is some sort of a triangle there, but very slightly. Not as much as Polkadot has. All right, Polkadot does have a nice triangle. If we break to the bottom side of that triangle, though, it will be severe because this is a bullish triangle, and generally when you go the opposite direction, it is quite severe. All right, TradingView people, I am running out of time with you, so I'm just going to say goodbye, and I'll scroll through the rest of these alts with my other viewers. All right, and so let's move on here to Matic. Matic has broke below our first line of support. We're holding strong at the second line of support. Let's hope that holds, because if that breaks, then we're going to go on down. 75 cents, 62 cents is a level below that. I hope we don't go that low on Matic. Right now, looking fairly good, and this is a bull flag right now. All right, so that's a positive sign for Matic. Algo has been squeezed down to a level of support here, and look for us to break to the top side of this triangle. One thing I want to point out, guys, about these triangles here. So we had this longer, 3-year plus triangle we remained in, and then we formed another shorter triangle, which is closing in on what, it's 8 months now. All right, but see the noses of these triangles. What generally happens, I like to draw these triangles out because they tell me, is there a direction change coming? I look at it this way. These are noses of planes, and we are currently in a nosedive, and then now we're leveling out, and it looks like algo is going to start to change direction. The nose of the plane is going even, and then it's going to break up again. Let's hope that happens. I see this all the time. That's why I like to map these triangles out. On the upside, it's just the opposite. You see the nose of the plane going up, and then you see it leveling out. When you see it level out, caution is warranted, because at some point in the future, you could begin to take a nosedive. All right, so now we're on the bottom side with all these alts, and it looks like the nose of these planes are starting to even out and possibly even go up. All right, so here's Solana. Now I was expecting a neckline retest here, but that's fairly low. I'm not sure we're going to get down there, but it's just something to keep an eye on. We broke out of this bullish wedge here, hit our heads on the 50-day moving average. I'm not sure at this point what Solana is going to do. Not sure enough to make an entry here for a trade, as I am with some of the other ones. A doggy coin, I was expecting it to go to the bottom of this longer trending triangle, which we've been in. Same thing. It's been like, a couple years we've been in this triangle. And then we formed this other triangle here. See what's happening here, guys? The nose. Look at the nose of the plane. It's evening out. So at this point, I would just go ahead. This arrow down is somewhat misleading. I'm just not sure we're going to hit the bottom of that triangle. It looks to me like it's even price action, and it's evening out. We're in accumulation phase, and we're going to start to head up again. All right, BCH. I just got on here because we've got some very attractive prices for BCH. And this is a nice long-term hodl. And then I put sand on here because this one's been heating up lately in a bullish wedge. We've got lots of resistance overhead, but watch this closely, because if we break these resistance areas, we are going to moon. All right, that's all I got for you today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found something in it helpful. And if you did, I would appreciate a comment, a like, or subscribe to one of my channels. Just let me know. And even constructive criticism. Hey, here's what you could do differently. Could you do this? Could you talk about this? I know you guys all liked my trade strategy video that I put out several months ago, because that's what's got the most views. I do like to do technical analysis, and I know it doesn't get a lot of views. I don't know. I'm not in it for the views anyways. I'm just in it to try to help those of you out who want help in technical analysis. Using the tools of technical analysis, you can really determine, get ahead of the game, guys. Really get ahead of the market and jump in on these things before the trends actually are apparent to the rest of the market. That's why I like technical analysis. And hopefully you have been learning through my videos, through my posts, etc., etc. So if that is the case, I would appreciate, just let me know. Just to give me a holler out and let me know that you've been learning something, you appreciate my videos, etc., etc. It helps me to know that I'm doing the right thing. And likewise, again, constructive criticism is also welcome as well. All right, until the next video, y'all, peace.